Welcome to this Ready to Craft. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create this Easter pom-pom wreath using Readi-Board. To begin, I'm going to make my Pompom Makers. I've already printed out my template, and I'm going to attach it to a small piece of foam board using rubber cement. I like using rubber cement for this because it makes moving the pieces easy if I need to. Once I have all the template pieces down, I'll begin to cut them out. Once I have my pair of pieces cut out, we can begin making the pom-poms. Align the two pieces together, and then begin to wrap your yarn around them. I often found it helpful to use my finger to guide the yarn into place. Once I'm happy with my amount of yarn, I'm going to snip it away from the bundle. I'm using a piece of cotton string to tie my pom-poms. This is because I found that the acrylic yarn would snap under too much pressure. I'm going to use a pair of sharp, small scissors to carefully cut along the edge of my pom-pom maker. I like to begin on one side, go to the middle, and then flip it over and work from the other side. Now that all of that has been cut, I can run my tying string through my pom-pom maker. I'll do a single knot initially. Remove the two halves of the pom-pom maker. And give it a good fluffing by shaking it. You can see this condensed the yarn pieces down a little and gave me a little bit more room to tie. Add a couple more knots. Once that's secure, we get to give our pom-pom a haircut. I'm simply cutting off any long pieces and shaping the pom-pom to be more circular. When making your pom-poms, you can also use two yarns at the same time. This not only allows you to mix colors, but also makes things go a little faster. To begin creating our wreath base, I have a half of sheet of Readi-Board. I'm going to find and mark my center point. I'm also going to mark the outside edge of my wreath. I personally decided to make mine 12 inches. To draw my circle, we're going to use a push pin and a piece of string. I've tied a loop into one end of my string. I'm going to push the pin through it and then place that in the center of my board. Now I'm going to add a slip knot to the other end of my string. Place my pencil in it and adjust it to my mark. I'll tighten down my knot just a little so that it doesn't slip while I'm drawing. And while holding down the pin, create my circle. Decide the size that you would like the inside of your wreath. Measure, mark, and follow the same steps to create that circle. After I've drawn my guides, I will cut my circles out. I am using the interior circle that we just cut out to help me determine how large I'd like to make my ears. I decided to make them 8 inches tall. I'm just giving myself a center line to draw with. Since we already have this nice curve, I'm going to use it as a guide. I also decided to make the base of my ear 2 inches wide. will cut that ear out and use it as a template for my other one. Because I want this ear to flop over, I'm going to trace 2 copies of my first ear. I'm using my wreath to decide where I want the flop to begin, and once again using that center circle as a template. I'm going to cut the base of the ear out and use that as a guide to create the tip of my ear. While I'm working with my foam board, I'm also going to create a template for the inside ear. I'm sketching out my shape, but you could trace the edges of the ears. And I'm going to label it just to keep myself organized. To cover my foam board and make the ears a little fuzzy, I'm using some white fleece. To attach these together, I'm going to use spray adhesive. But first, I'm going to cut away the section that's going to be covering the tip. I'm going to apply an even layer of adhesive to both my foam board and my fabric. I suggest using spray adhesive in a well-ventilated area, so I had to do it off camera. I don't need spray adhesive on this bottom half, because we're going to glue it to the base of the ear later. So I'm going to use the foam board that was left behind when we cut it out in the first place. This will protect the fabric when I'm spraying, and get the adhesive only where I need it. Now I'm going to carefully cut around the edges of my foam board ears. When cutting the tip of the ear, you want to keep in mind that you will need some fabric to attach it to the base. I find that the easiest way to get this right is to just play around with the pieces and see what looks best. For the inside of the ears, I'm just using some pink craft felt. Because I don't have to work around foam board, I will simply use some scissors to cut these out. It's time to get your hot glue gun ready. Attach the pink interior pieces to your ears. Where you position the fabric on the back of this ear will affect how much it flops over. Depending on your glue gun, you may have a little bit of time to wiggle it around. Once I have the position just right, I will add more glue to keep it secure. Now that the ears are assembled, we can attach them to our wreath base. I'd like to make sure that my ears are extra secure. So I'm cutting an extra piece of my fleece fabric, and I will use a little piece on the back of my wreath to bridge from the ears to the base. This is completely optional, of course. After that glue has had a chance to cool, I'm going to move on to the pom-poms. going to cut any of the extra long tails as I work. I'm also being very generous with the glue. I personally like to plan out where my pom-poms are going to go, so I ended up gluing in small sections. After all my pom-poms have been pressed down, I noticed that I had one left. It happened to be the perfect size to make a little bunny tail. Because this is only partially attached to the foam board base, I'm also going to glue the ends of the tail just to help it be secure. I allowed that to cool completely before flipping my project over and trimming away that little tail piece. To create a hanging point for my wreath, I am just using some ribbon. You could use some of the same yarn that you utilized to make the pom-poms. Notice that I'm being very careful when dealing with the hot glue. You don't want to get burnt. Similar to how I backed the ears, I'm going to use a little piece of fabric to help hold on my hanging point as well. And because I want my wreath to sit perfectly flat against my wall, I will add a little piece of fabric at the bottom here so that everything is on the same level. Allow the glue to cool down completely before hanging up your project. I just love how perfectly precious these pom-poms are. If you tried this craft out, we'd love to see it. Our social media links can be found in the description. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If there's a foam board craft that you would like to see a ready to craft of, let us know in the comments.